After the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire and the conclusion of the Balkan Wars in 1913, Albanian territories were unjustly divided. Among them, Kosovo. This historic Albanian Dardanian region remained under the administration of the Kingdom of the Serbs and later the Yugoslav Kingdom, where Albanians lived under pressure and violence for decades. Tensions escalated during the 1980s and 1990s. Serbian forces attacked the village of Prekaz in Kosovo, targeting the national hero Adem Cishari, one of the founders of the KLA. During a 3-day assault, around 58 members of the Cishari family were killed, including women and children. This massacre sparked outrage among Kosovo Albanians, igniting massive support for the KLA. Western countries decided to join the Albanian cause through the Rambouillet Agreement, which Slobodan Milosevic rejected. He opposed the presence of NATO forces inside Yugoslavia and Kosovo's independence. The conflict between the Albanians and the Yugoslav army continued until March 1999. NATO intervened and began bombing the Yugoslav army and Belgrade. The act, though not approved by the UN Security Council, was necessary to save the Albanian people from Yugoslav genocide. On June 10, 1999, Resolution 1244 was approved, placing Kosovo under temporary UN administration through the UNMIK mission, while formally maintaining Yugoslavia's territorial integrity. The Kosovo War caused heavy losses to Albanians, with 1.46 million victims. Of these, 13,548 lost their lives. 9,269 of them were ethnic Albanian civilians of all ages. Around 863,000 Albanians were displaced outside Kosovo, and another 590,000 internally. More than 20,000 Albanian women and girls were violated by the Yugoslav army. Responsibility also lies with Albania, which failed entirely to protect its people. Article 8 of Albania's constitution legally obliges its institutions to seek justice for all victims. Albanian politics, both past and present, shamelessly aligns with countries hostile to the Albanian cause and must, in one way or another, be held accountable for violating this constitutional article. In 2006, Montenegro declared independence following a referendum, and Serbia adopted a new constitution, including Kosovo as an inseparable part of its territory. On February 17, 2008, Kosovo declared independence unilaterally. Later, the International Court of Justice ruled that this declaration was legal. Due to opposition from major powers like Russia and China, Kosovo has not yet become a UN member, and UNMIK remains active on the ground. Today, Kosovo is a self-declared state, recognized by about 100 UN member states. Not being a UN member brings multiple consequences for a state. Kosovo cannot join the WHO, UNESCO, UNDP or UNHCR, thus losing their funding. A non-member state has no voice in the General Assembly and therefore cannot influence global decisions on peace, climate, development, or human rights. Additionally, a state not recognized by the UN, like Kosovo, cannot use the International Court of Justice. Here, only Albania can intervene on behalf of the rights of Albanians in Kosovo. Diplomacy is extremely difficult and complex, and unfortunately depends on two major superpowers, Russia and China. Kosovo must do its best within its own borders by securing its safety and territorial integrity, reforming its justice and law enforcement systems, investing in the economy. Strengthening democracy in Kosovo gives it an advantage in diplomacy. From 2008 to 2021, Kosovo's government showed little difference from the typical Balkan political approach. A controversial example is the agreement on the association of Serb-majority municipalities, known as Zajednica, reached by Prime Ministers Hashim Thaçi of Kosovo and Aleksandar Vučić of Serbia in 2013, but declared unconstitutional by Kosovo's Constitutional Court in 2015. Nevertheless, Serbia continues to use this agreement in a confusing and retaliatory diplomatic strategy. First, it doesn't recognize Kosovo, then it signs agreements with it, which implies recognition, with the aim of creating a second Bosnia. Bosnia is a federal republic, with 3 parliaments, 3 presidents, and 1 High Representative, or OHR, who can overturn laws and has authority over national decisions. Bosnia is a true political mess, and Serbia will do everything possible to impose similar constraints on Kosovo's 92% Albanian majority, purely out of revenge. However, the people of Kosovo voted for change, electing the Vetëvendosje government led by Albin Kurti. Albin Kurti, a computer and telecommunications science student at the University of Pristina, was involved in the student movement against the Yugoslav regime. During the Kosovo War, he served as a translator and close collaborator of Adam Demaci, the political representative of the KLA. In 1999, Kurti was seen being dragged by Yugoslavs and was imprisoned for 2 years and 7 months, until 2001.
Unë nuk kam kërkuar asnjëherë që të më amnestojnë ose që të më falin. Unë kam kërkuar vetëm drejtësi, dhe atë drejtësinë e popullit tim edhe drejtësi ndërkombëtare.
During this time, he faced physical and psychological torture alongside 2,000 other Albanians. His arrest was labeled political by international organizations, which demanded his release. After his release, Kurti founded the Vetëvendosje Movement, VV, which means self-determination, initially an activist organization demanding full self-determination for the Albanian people in Kosovo, later turned into a political party that challenged Yugoslav-style corruption and introduced a new political approach in the country. Besides economic challenges, Serb-majority municipalities had parallel institutions such as postal services, schools, unregistered Yugoslav and Serbian car plates, unpaid electricity, and, above all, unauthorized banks, circulating the Serbian dinar. The Serb community received pensions and social services from Belgrade, contrary to Kosovo's laws. These institutions undermined the authority of the Kosovo state and fueled the Serbian narrative that Kosovo was a rebellious and illegal province. This situation persisted until 2021, when the second Kurti government was elected with over 50% of the vote. We must be realistic. Kosovo will likely never be recognized by states like China, Russia, and others with specific geopolitical interests. Albania must do more for Kosovo, as it holds legal and diplomatic tools that can be used to lobby on its behalf. Thus, the objective of the Kosovo government is clear: full implementation of the law throughout the entire territory of the Republic of Kosovo, including the Serb-majority municipalities. It must not wait on international actors, but take initiative and act independently to build its future. This is, in fact, the fundamental political reproach of Vetëvendosje. The Kosovo government immediately took measures to extend sovereignty, closing illegal institutions and registering vehicle plates, but Serbian officials boycotted institutions. Amid diplomatic clashes and protests, the government managed to organize elections and install new mayors in northern municipalities. The Kosovo flag was raised in municipal offices, marking an institutional victory. For Serbia, this was the breaking point in negotiations. At the height of tensions, groups led by Milan Radojicic, head of the Serbian List Party in Kosovo, planned a major terrorist act. They had hidden hundreds of weapons in the Banjiška church, brought from Serbia. In this attack, Officer Abrim Bunjaku was killed and declared a martyr of the Republic. This despicable act cost the terrorists 3 lives. Kosovo police and security forces reacted swiftly, crushing the plot as the terrorists fled into the woods. Over the past 4 years, the Kosovo government has focused on security. It has quadrupled investments for the KSF, declared Civil Protection and Northern Brigade as terrorist groups, and is successfully closing Serbia's illegal institutions and blocking the dinar. Kosovo has extended sovereignty across its entire territory. Meanwhile, it is intelligently building 2 bridges connecting North and South Mitrovica, a key step for integrating citizens with the Republic. However, the central bridge remains blocked by KFOR. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić shamelessly hired the Banjiška terrorists as his personal bodyguards and refuses to extradite them to justice. Meanwhile, he faces mass protests and calls to block the bridge projects. The international community responded aptly, as noted by the German embassy. Of course, it is not the Kosovo government that is failing to enforce legal measures against those responsible for the horrific Banjiška attack. The fact that the self-declared leader of this attack, Kosovo Serb and former Serbian list deputy, publicly admitted responsibility and yet continues to move freely in Serbian territory, severely undermines trust and accountability efforts in the region. Clean your doorstep first. This proverb reminds us to fix our own house before constantly scolding Kosovo for its decisions. Even diplomatically, Kosovo has had successes. It received visa liberalization. The EU announced that sanctions will be lifted, and the World Bank just removed Kosovo from the list of fragile and conflict-affected states. Kosovo also allocated €4 million from the state budget for the Preševa Valley, a concrete step in supporting Albanians beyond its borders. Albania should follow this example, in accordance with Article 8 of its constitution, as its own budget still lacks funds for Albanians in the territories. Kosovo is setting the example. Albania must follow. Kosovo and Albania would be significantly stronger if they worked toward full unification, an outcome supported by the overwhelming majority of Albanians in both countries. The future of all Albanians lies under the European Union flag, but this is only possible if the rights of diaspora Albanians are fully recognized and respected by their host countries. Albania should actively lobby for the property rights of Cham Albanians displaced by Greece, an injustice that followed World War II. In addition, concrete support must be provided to Albanian minorities in the Preševa Valley, Sanjak, Montenegro and Turkey, in line with EU human rights standards. More must also be done for Kosovo's war victims, both legally and psychologically. By fully leveraging European law and institutions, Albanians can demand their rights peacefully and legitimately, ensuring a brighter, more united future under the united European umbrella. The Albanian aims are simple and noble. As the patriot Mithat Frasheri puts it, we are neither for a greater Albania nor for a smaller Albania, but for an ethnic Albania, inhabited by Albanians or with an Albanian majority, and based on the universal principle of self-determination. This video is dedicated to the victims of the Kosovo War. One of the most important books documenting these events is The Massacres in Kosovo 1998–1999 by Shkel Zangashi. It describes 83 massacres with verified facts about over 3,400 victims. This is a must-read, especially for those lawyers, diplomats, and politicians of Albania who want to truly help the victims. The Police Chronicler team is made up of dedicated designers, editors, programmers, and researchers. Our goal is to further develop the channel, which is why we're asking for your help. You can support us through Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal, where every contribution makes a difference. You're also invited to join our community on Patreon. There, you can support us as Member of the Tribe, Tribal Elder, or Arbresh Lady, each with its own benefits such as voting rights on upcoming topics. For the true defenders of the Police Chronicler, we have created the Stradiot Regiment. There, you'll have exclusive access to our resources, high-quality image downloads, and previews of new videos before they are published. Thank you for being with us. You give us the strength to keep going.